Hello, hello, hello. So, I am Deligod, also known as Deli. This is a Bloomhouse broadcast. I usually do this before, well, not usually. I'm starting to do this before every one of my workshops, before people trickle in. Um, yeah, what is this workshop? I've spoken right now. This workshop is Bloomhouse uh, sessions, which is also known as the Bloomhouse Writing Workshops. And with Bloomhouse Writing Workshops, you have four fruits of the workshops, right? The first fruit is ultimately writing. I'm an author. I actually started Bloomhouse with another author, was it Sister CJ. She took a step back. Uh, Ultimately, we started building with other like-minded, like authors, and it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Our first cohort was 5 sessions long, and it brought a lot of people out to get them into writing. My background is multimedia. I work in multimedia fields, um, and I'm also an author of 6 books, which are 5 out of those 6 are part of a series. Um, Working on my 7th book, and the idea was I'm always writing, right? So why not construct a platform to where people can also who are interested in writing or want to produce a book, develop a book, and we're trying to figure out the steps to develop that book, the processes, storytelling, mind mapping, persuasive writing, uh, learning how to research for your story, writing styles. And so, today is what we were going to talk about was storytelling, right? Storytelling in particular, with making your stories. So, writing is the first fruit of Bloomhouse. The second fruit of Bloomhouse is community, right? You see, community, we're not just writers, we also want to bridge and network with people who are into the writing fields, into the fields of the libraries, the writers' cafes, the places where they go and do poetry, people who do music, writers of music as well. We want to build a community of writers to where we can do some co-collab. Maybe you want to learn how to do some paper, right? Or when I say do paper, like make paper. Shout out to Tim Buck Labs, who I also be partnering with Bloomhouse, which leads to the third fruit, which is events. Uh, I like to do cool stuff. Ultimately, I love to do cool things. I love going hiking, going fishing. We did archery with Tim Buck Labs. Uh, it's like having different activities that go alongside with your writing. And some people they have a writer's block because they're stuck. They're stuck doing the same writers group, or they don't got no people to write with, or they need an outdoor activity. This is summertime. This is summertime. And also we need elements that help us write, right? Which leads us to our fourth fruit, which is nutrition. So lately, I've been also making smoothies, right? Um, yeah, I've also been making smoothies, partnering up also with people that juice, uh, make organic juice that's real good for you, good for your health. I also wanted to get into smoothie making. Um, Next month, I'm coming out with a Leo smoothie, right? Good for some gut health, good for some clarity, brain activity. Uh, yeah, I host a lot of the Bloom House at Obsidian Healing Camp, which also has an apothecary that has a lot of these herbs that I'm experimenting with in my smoothies. I'm trying them out on myself first before it gets to the public. But nutrition is a big thing. I used to be a vegan for about 3 years, right? And I started getting back into the meats, the flours, the sugars, but ultimately, a lot of my brain fog was coming from excessive meat eating, red meat specifically, a lot of flour and sugar. Sugar in itself, they say, is like causes was it dementia? They say what are the third types of diabetes, right? I'm not sure if that's ultimately in our books over here in America, but that's been discussed. When we start overly consuming things that are not good for our brains, it's hard for us to focus. We get brain fog. We have no clarity. So those are the four fruits. Writing, community, and nutrition. What was the fourth one? Adventure. That's essentially what we love to do. Pretty soon we're going to go to Indian Rock and do some riding over there, um, and just do a lot of outdoorsy stuff. Because part of getting into storytelling, getting into mind mapping, exploring environments, is to physically explore different environments, to do different things, um, so you can expand your mental palette. In one of my books, the main character's mom is an archer, right? That's one of her real skill sets. So, in order for me to really fully grasp it, me and Brother Hannibal, part of Tim Book Labs, he be doing some cool stuff, making soap, making paper, making pens, making ink. You feel me? We're out there doing archery. He's a vet in the archery, and he's getting better at archery. And he has philosophy surrounding being of Islam, being a Muslim, and it being attached to archery as well. Being able to shoot your shot, having a goal, and able to hit your target. Um, which brings me to what we're going to be talking about later on today is storytelling, right? And I love storytelling. Storytelling is quite literally one of my favorite pastimes. Um, some of the things we're going to be covering in class, it's just a few different kinds of prompts, right? My books are primarily, uh, how would I put this? My books are primarily metaphysical fantasies, right? I love giving black and brown people magic in my stories and illustrating those stories so people can see them. And for those people that go against them and try to go against their people, their land, try to colonize them, I want them to see that those people can be defeated. Because in my stories, there's aspect of human trafficking to where these black and brown people with powers go handle that, right? A lot of people talk about how what are they doing about the traffickers? Sometimes you need to illustrate what should happen to them, right? There's magic in the imagination when you're able to see it on paper, but also visually. And so, that brings me into prompting because I have people that within the Bloom House, some people do come through and we workshop their writing, right? I have a brother right now, we're shopping his story to get better acquainted with the characters to flesh out the story a lot better. And one of the workshops is usually like free writing. Today is storytelling.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
oh,
using that?
yeah.
Okay.
Uh, oops, sorry. One of the kind of storytellings is uh, what do you call it? I got a little bit distracted. Um, I like to tell some of the people I'm helping out with their stories that these are the more is better, right? Especially when you're free writing. Free writing allows you to put out everything that's in your thoughts, just throw it up, put everything just out there, you know. With storytelling is more so organizing that those things.
Oh, he's not. Yes, he is. Cool.
Hey, how you
Okay.
doing?
Oh, so familiar.
Well, my name's Deli.
Deli?
Yeah.
No. I feel like I've seen you before.
Yeah, I've been around. You're here for the writing workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, I was doing a live, but I'm glad you slid through because I was just
Oh no, I
going.
finished. I mean, go
Well,
ahead.
that's kind of part of it as people was trickling in. Um, so yeah, do you mind if I smoke or should I put it out?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So hi, my name's Deli. As I was telling the people in live or lack thereof, yeah, I've been writing books since 2018. I feel like found my purpose in writing. I wrote 6 books. I'm working on my 7th book.
Oh, congrats.
I
Wait, you're live right now?
yeah
Oh,
yeah.
okay, let me be quiet.
No. Go. You can speak. It's just the camera's facing me. So yeah, because it's just me and you talking, and nobody actually seeing us right now. But yeah, been doing that for some time. I feel like that's part of my purpose here is not only to write my material, but to get other people acquiesce with their writing, get more detailed with their writing and storytelling. Like so one of our workshops is a free write, right? And free write, you're putting everything all on the table. Doesn't matter. It's just as you're flowing, as you're channeling, it's just coming out there. Storytelling, which this one is about, is more so organizing the different thoughts. Like for example, like let's say thinking of ideas of different prompts that you would write for your story, right? I do more so metaphysical fantasies. So blending magic into like the fantasy realm and kind of, blending it also into the mundane realities. I love giving black and brown characters magic. That's one thing I love doing. And usually they're combating people that are doing human trafficking. And so I'm like, yeah, why not show the world that we can utilize these different elements to portray a story of victory when there's all this, what we'll call it like for the people eating class, like that happens to be a thing. And you start to see that your so-called country is not doing anything about it. So it's like sometimes part of the magic to get that flowing is to write a story about it. Like, yeah, we were able to catch these people eating people off guard, and you write a whole little thing about it. That's what I like writing about. It's just like, yeah, taking care of the so-called evils of the world and doing away with it. Like so, like one particular prompt is we'll call it the secret nobody knows, right? The secret nobody knows is like every family, every community, every workplace, church, neighborhood, friend group, subgroup has a secret, right? Uh, I know my families have had their secrets. Some of my friends have had secrets, and then you as an individual may have a secret, right? Um, One particular means of writing is writing about a secret everybody knows exists, but nobody talks about. You could tell it from a perspective of the person hiding it. You could tell it from the perspective of the person discovering it, and that's one of my favorite ones. It's like when you're discovering upon like a secret. It's like, oh shit, like, huh. Usually it's somebody else narrating when I'm figuring out secrets, but different techniques that allow you to uh, move about. Is there anything that you write about?
No. Not in the sense of not in the sense of like trying to write a book or something. Actually, I was writing a script.
Okay.
I was writing a script and I lost my book. I don't know where I lost my book because I was in the middle of a move. So I don't know if I put it in storage or if I left it somewhere, because I would take this book and I would, just kind of write. Um, and I was writing characters. So I basically was writing like, okay, short, what's the script? And then I was going into details of the characters I wanted to use. And then, like I said, it broke my heart. And this was like a recent loss. So I don't know. I've went into the storage unit a couple of times trying to look for it. Can't find it. So I'm feeling like I left it somewhere, which was kind of bad on my end. Because, yeah, I'm like, oh, let me take this. Oh, I'm on BART. Oh, I'm, on AC Transit. Let me write. And it was cool until it came up missing. Well, now I don't know. So now I'm literally starting over. And that's all right. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be into like, oh, write my day, write this, and it kind of backfired when someone found like materials, and it's just kind of like I don't want personal journal no more. Like I don't want to write emotions or feelings or anything.
I feel that, because sometimes, well, not sometimes, that stuff I consider sacred, so it's like somebody get a hold of that. And I like journaling myself too, but I figured out a way how to journal while channeling through one of my characters. Uh, you know, and you said you like to write scripts.
No, it actually would be my first script.
Your first script, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've did something similar when I was in high school, because I did come from the era where we had different type of elective classes and stuff like that. I even remember writing a book in high school. It was like a short book, again, stuff that was like, classroom requirements. But this will be the first time, like I've been thinking of um, this script for a couple of years now, like over, I say for sure, like the last three. And so then I actually, with research, I found out that there are events held in the Bay where you pitch a script. And so when I found that out, I was like, oh, let me write. I gotta write. I gotta get the script out. And I did not attend the event I was supposed to go to back in March because I was nowhere near finished. Um, and I did, until I'm finished, I don't even want to pitch or even too much share the ideas in those type of settings because I don't want nobody to steal it. um, and so yeah, now the next one is like in September, October, one of those months, and I kind of want to get going because I really want to be able to pitch. And then on top of writing, I got to learn how to deliver in such short little notice because you only get like 5-6 minutes.
Okay.
Unless there's like, you get like 5-6 minutes, but the less people pitching, the longer you get. But you don't know who's pitching until the day of the event. And so the event is like writers, producers, investors, things of that sort, like basically people in that field. And once you pitch, people could basically choose you. They could
Okay.
talk to you. They could offer to buy your script, offer to work with you.
I like that because I haven't gotten to the point where I want to pitch my script yet because I told myself I might get the 8 books. And I write actually all my books in script form because I hate reading. I actually love reading, but I hate reading close together words. And so I like how scripts are formulated, um, which is pretty neat. Would you say some of the help you would need is like structure for that 5 to 7 minutes? Or are you
But I
still
gotta
writing?
finish writing
Okay, you
first.
got to finish writing.
But also, like, when someone asks me about it and I tell them, I do try to, like, just even the ideal of it, I try to deliver quick.
Okay.
And then, of course, the people are listening. It ain't part of, they don't know how this works. So they're asking questions and I'm stopping and answering. But I do want, and sometimes their questions are really good because it makes me stop and think, like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I take this out? Should I add that? Um, so yeah, that's pretty much.
Okay.
But again,
Well,
it sucks because I got to start over.
I'm end the stream because I want to ask you more of a personal question.